Welcome to Podnastics. My name is Jacob Daniel, and along with my friend and co-host Christian Marsh, we interview gymnasts and let them tell their stories. From college-level gymnasts to Olympic stars, we're going to cover it all. This is Podnastics. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Podnastics. My name is Jacob Daniel.
And I'm Christian Marsh.
And let's get into it. Chris, God, I got to stop doing that. Marsh, how was your week?
Oh, pretty good. I feel like I don't have much to complain about anymore, so I'm looking forward to the interview. Pretty much has been the highlight of my weekend, of course, aside from Valentine's Day, getaway with my lovely girlfriend.
Yeah, you took out your girlfriend. You didn't take out me. I'm a little offended, but I'm going to let it slide. I've had a very emotional week. Cobra Kai ended with 5 glorious seasons. The new Captain America movie was not that bad. I thought it was going to be pretty terrible, but it was pretty great. Always trust Anthony Mackie. That man's going to deliver. I just finished 6 Feet Under, which has the best reviewed series finale of all time, and I cried. What does this have to do with Nia Dennis and gymnastics? Nothing, but I thought it was very important to share how my week went too. Yeah, today's guest, you might know her from her years of doing gymnastics at UCLA, or you might know her from the fact that she went pretty viral for a pretty awesome floor routine. Today, we are talking to Nia Dennis, so let's get into that. We're going to interview Nia Dennis on Podnastics, the gymnastics podcast show, right now, starting now. Yo, Nia, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you guys. How's it
What's
going?
up?
It's going well. Man, look at you, 9:30 in the morning and you're already dressed up and ready to go for the day.
You see it.
You know how it be. What do you got going on
Yeah.
today? You're going to Harlem Globetrotters, right?
Yeah. After this interview, I'm going to go see the Harlem Globetrotters here in LA. They're going to put on a show as they always do their tricks and stunts and everything else. So I'm excited to watch them.
Yeah, I was skipping ahead. I was skipping ahead there. I know you have a little history with the Harlem Globetrotters now, but let's start at the beginning. Nia, how
Let's
about you tell us about yourself? Who are you and how do you relate to gymnastics?
Oh my gosh, who am I? That's such a tricky question, but I am a gymnast. I've been doing gymnastics my whole life. I started when I was 4 years old. I went the elite route, so I was training about 40 hours a week. I was homeschooled. I'm from Ohio. I skipped that part. I was born in Ohio. I currently live in California now. But during my time training for elite, I was training for the Olympics in 2016. And I actually tore my Achilles just 3 months before the Olympics, which was devastating. Like I said, I was homeschooling, I was training 40 hours a week. So I feel like I sacrificed a lot of my childhood, of myself to, make it to the Olympics. So when it all like just kind of it was over within like a blink of an eye, and it was like years of training, just like what the heck? So I was really feeling like kind of lost and like didn't know where to go after I tore my Achilles. But at this time, I was already verbally committed to UCLA for gymnastics. So I was kind of like battling, like, do I follow through with what I committed to, or do I just like quit? But after like a series of depression, I found it deep within myself to go ahead and go to UCLA. And I went to UCLA and it was the best decision of my life. I feel like I stepped into myself as a woman and as a gymnast. And I actually went viral at UCLA my last 2 years for my floor routine, which was so surprising, so shocking, but it was an amazing opportunity. It opened the door to so many other things like the Met Gala, Ellen show, NBA halftime show. Like it's so many amazing things. So I'm blessed and I'm so thankful for gymnastics.
Yeah, which routine did you go viral for? Was it the Kendrick one?
Yeah, and then the year before that, I did a Beyonce one. It was like Homecoming, her Homecoming album, Beachella. You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So it was like a really perfect timing when she dropped that album because it was like time to start creating floor routines. It was like in the summer, at the
Mhm.
beginning of the year. So it was time for me to start creating floor routines. I'm like, this is perfect. I actually have a lot of family in New Orleans. And we used to go to New Orleans every single year. We used to watch Battle of the Bands. And I always wanted to be a majorette dancer, like growing up, like when I was a kid. I was like, oh my God, they're amazing. Their energy, their fierceness, their confidence. Like I love them. I want to be like them. So I decided to bring like a majorette style to gymnastics in my floor routine. And Beyonce dropped that Homecoming album, which was all like um marching band music and Battle of the Bands as well. So it was just perfect.
Yeah, so what made you choose the Kendrick Lamar for the second routine that went viral?
Yeah, so I feel like my first year that I went viral, it wasn't necessarily clear that it was like Black culture. And I wanted to make it very evidently clear, like I'm bringing Black culture to the sport of gymnastics. So I feel like I had to like black it up a little bit the next year. So I went for Kendrick, I mean, who better than Kendrick and Tupac and Missy Elliott? So I wanted to do people that were iconic in our culture and kind of shaped who I was as a woman. And I wanted to bring that to the sport too.
That's awesome. How did you, so when you started going viral, how did you react to that? Was that kind of like was that like an, oh shoot moment? Like this could be my life now.
Yeah, honestly, it was so random. It was like because I didn't post my floor routines, Pac-12 Network posted it. So I was like sleep. It was like a Thursday afternoon. I'm sleeping, taking a nap, like finished tutoring, finished all my classes, take a nap, wake up, my phone's going crazy, like notifications one after the next. I'm like, what's going on? Like honestly, what's happening? I don't even know what's going on because like I was asleep. Like what I missed. And then I opened, social media and I saw my routine and like all the love I was getting. And I was just like, this is honestly overwhelming, but in a good way. Like this is crazy. Like I really feel like I manifested that. I felt like I wanted to kind of get the recognition I felt like I deserved in the sport. And it kind of came in the form of going viral. So I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, and it's especially hearing your story right now, and I didn't know that you were injured before going to college. So
Yeah,
it's crazy that you were able to come back from that injury, do college, and now because of that, your career
right.
and getting to be an influencer and getting to work with all these other brands. It's
Yeah,
crazy what those decisions are when you're like, I can hang up the towel now, or I can push myself a little more and see where I end
exactly.
up. Because of that,
Exactly.
still got to go to, I mean, you went to the Met Gala, dude.
Remember that?
I
It was
would I would
crazy.
kill a man to go to the Met Gala. I would kill a man to do half the
Amazing.
stuff you've done. I remember I think 2 years ago you were breaking down all the stuff you've gotten to do, and I think I looked at you and I was like, Nia, if I could steal your life right now, I
You can
would.
be my plus one, my permanent plus one.
How was going to the Met Gala though?
It was so crazy. I thought I was getting punked. Stella McCartney, she calls me, right? She Zoom calls me like this. And she's like, "Hey, so I can't go to the Met Gala this year. It's my birthday. Can you go represent me?" And I'm like, somebody bring the cameras out because you're just joking. And she was so nonchalant. Like it was so like, I'm like, yes, easily yes. And she's like, okay, let's make history at the Met Gala. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? She's like, you're gonna open the Met Gala. I'm like, okay, then what does that mean? And she's like, you're gonna go on the stairs, you're gonna flip on the stairs and do what you do and dance and do all that. And I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah, like nobody's ever done that before. So you're gonna be the first. Do you want to? I was like, yes, sign me up. I'll be there. Tell me where to be. And it was freaking amazing. I had about a week of rehearsals. Stella got a local band to come and also be a part of the performance as well. So we had live music, we had me. It was just like a whole show. And it was at first, it was like really nerve-wracking because, it was like a room full of all your favorite celebrities, people you look up to, your favorite idols. And I'm like, what am I doing here? It kind of feels like I didn't deserve to be there, but they allowed my parents to come out on the red carpet too. So they were right across from me. And so I was like starting to get in my head, like, feeling like I said, I don't deserve to be here. But then I saw my parents and it just kind of brought me back down, brought me back to life a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I do deserve to be here. My parents are right here cheering me on like they always have been. And this is my moment. So like, let's just own it. And who cares what people think? Like, this is history. Like nobody's ever done this. So it was so cool. And then after I performed, everybody's coming in. Megan the Stallion is like, girl, you ate it up. You ate that. I'm looking around like, there's no way she's talking to me. She's like, no, you. And I was like, oh my God, you saw that? She was like, yeah, you opened the Met Gala. You got us off to the right start. And I was just like, that was so reassuring because, like I said, I was feeling nervous, feeling overwhelmed. Like, this isn't really the time or place, but it was the time and the place. So,
I think if Megan the Stallion ever looked at and spoke at me directly, I would quite literally pass out on the spot. So
no, literally, I was like, this is nuts right now. Not me. Me?
I was gonna say if Megan the Stallion ever pointed at me and like was like, "You killed it," I think I could get my life together finally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
seriously.
I think getting told by like the biggest anime nerd who's also like one of the best female rappers, like you ate that, like
You ate.
I would have been like, man, I can do whatever I want in this moment.
Seriously, I was literally flying after that. I was like, my night is made.
So, did you start working with Adidas after the Met Gala, or was that before?
I started working with Adidas pretty much right after that because Stella McCartney has a line also with Adidas, and they felt like I was a great fit. After working with them in New York for the Met Gala, they were like, "You're amazing. We love your energy, but we think you would be great in the sports side, obviously, you know, sports background." So I'm like, "Yes, you know." So Adidas was right there, and we kind of just like, had conversations, worked our magic, and but it was kind of like a trial run, like at the
Mhm.
beginning, it was like, let's see how we do, let's see how we work together, let's see if we're compatible. And we were. And I freaking love Adidas. They're so genuine. Like they really take care of me. They care about my goals and my dreams outside of sport. And they try to make that happen for me, which I'm so grateful for because sometimes you don't always feel like you have the foundation and the tools to be ready for the real world, like outside of college or after college. So to feel like I have another space to be safe, to try, to fail, to, just experiment outside of the sport is also amazing.
That's great. So I have one more question on my side before we throw it over to our signature Marsh questions. And I kind of just thought of this because obviously you were talking about how you were coming, you had to overcome that injury going into college. So how did you handle that pressure and, especially the expectations going into your freshman year and then later going into your future UCLA, career? Was that a lot of like, shoot, I don't know where I stand. Like, how am I going to do with this injury? Am I going to do all 4 years? Where do I start?
Yeah. It was all a mind game for me, honestly. It was not necessarily about whether I could do the gymnastics because I actually had the fastest recovery for an Achilles tear ever. I was back in 3 months. It was insane. My coaches were like, "You're still going to try out for the Olympics." And I'm like, "Why?" I don't even have a foot, but okay. So I did, and I came back within 3 months. So I was like walking and mobile and moving before it was time to go to UCLA. So it was really a mind game. It was like, is this something I really want to do anymore? Because like everything that I worked so hard for is just like gone down the drain. Um, so yeah, it was difficult, but I feel like I had to look at the bigger picture. I knew I wanted to be a part of a team. I wanted to experience that. I wanted to experience Miss Val. I knew I wanted to experience sisterhood. Like there were so many things that I was also missing out on by not going. And so I was thinking more about that than, staying in my funk.
That's, I mean, that's just a really great response right there. Real quick, I should have said this at the beginning, but I've known Nia for a couple of years. We met, and it was really funny because as much as I'm involved in the gymnastics world, I can't tell you who's like, I can't tell you who's really good or really bad. So me and Nia just started like yapping it up because we met at a summer camp and I was working the ropes course and I remember you were like, dude, I hate being 40 feet up in the air. And I was like, you hate being up. And like, we did small talk. And it wasn't until later on when someone's like, yeah, I saw you chatting it up with the special guest. I was like, who's the special guest? Like, I was like, yeah, I was talking to Nia from like UCLA. And I was like, is she the special guest? They're like, yeah, she went viral. And I was like, no, she didn't. Stop. I thought it was like that just random older woman that was here that week. Everyone respected. I was like, yeah, she's the special guest.
Wow, I give old.
No, no, no. I was talking about someone else. Through that, me and Nia have become really good friends. And Especially with this type of show and wanting to give my friends a platform. Nia was, of course, one of the first people, along with Riley last week, that I really just wanted to get on. So, Nia, thanks for coming on. I'm going to throw it over to Marsh for some of his signature Marshy Marsh questions. I hope you're
Yeah.
ready. He thinks really hard about
Oh,
these.
okay. Okay. I
What's
am
up,
ready.
Mia? I'm
How
not
are
trying to throw you anything crazy, although I guess the first one might might be heavier. But does like the shock of your own accomplishments ever strike you? I mean, you were phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty humble. I feel like yes, the short answer, yes, it does. It does shock me. Sometimes I'm like, who is that? It really was, gymnastics really was like another life. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sometimes I watch old videos, I'm like, how did I do that? But also when I watch old videos, I can still feel it like in my spirit, like, oh, I can still do that. And this is like, this is me. And yeah, I killed that. But now, so I feel like now I'm at a place now where I actually can watch myself and like appreciate what I've done. Because it's so easy to be really critical, self-critical on all the things that you do, especially trying to be a perfectionist or having perfectionism tendencies. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
good to
all.
be able to like see the better side of it now.
That's awesome. Because yeah. I mean, I don't know how you guys did senior meet, but when I stood up there for my, last home meet, your coach stands up there. They say all these nice things about you and what you
Yeah.
accomplished. I felt so detached in that moment from like hearing them list the things that I had accomplished in my, 4 or 5 years at William and Mary.
Hmm.
And had I, been a freshman or someone else hearing that, I'd have been like, whoa, this dude's awesome. But standing
Yeah.
there experiencing myself, I was like, well, yeah, but like that was like, yes, it was me, but it doesn't feel like it in the moment. So
Yeah.
sometimes it can kind of strike you, but to
Yeah.
be able to now look back on that and like fully step into that moment, that's awesome. That's really cool
Yeah.
self-reflection.
Thank you.
All right. And so to ease off you a little bit, um, do you have a favorite time you went viral? Obviously, you've had the two major floor routines. Do you have a preference for one?
Oh, I do because the Beyonce routine was actually on my birthday, my 21st birthday,
Whoa.
and my mom flew into town. So it was really like a party. That was my birthday party. What we saw, that competition was my birthday party. So it just to like finish it how it finished was like this is the perfect birthday present. I couldn't ask for anything else. And to have that sisterhood and have my mom, it was like this is a family affair for real. Like this is lit. And
Oh,
we just
that's
killed
incredible.
it. Like we just killed it. And Polly, like, yes.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And so, with these routines, do you have a role in the choreography besides, also just being a fantastic dancer? Like, had I been given those steps, I'd look nothing like that. Do you have like what kind of say do you have over like the dances that you do?
I'm sure you have rhythm, first of all.
Rhythm,
But
yeah, but
that's all you need, okay? As long as you can
I
do a
don't
little
have rhythm.
two-step, but you can do a two-step, and that's good. I actually have a lot of say in the creative process. I mean, I didn't really do my first two floor routines because I really just didn't know like what I wanted to do and like the story, the impact, the messaging, like I didn't know any of that. I just wanted to do something fun that was like different than Elite, which Elite is very classical, not really like fun, outgoing dance. So I just wanted to do something different than I've ever done before. But my last 2 years, I really like sat down and I had like a whole concept, had a whole playlist. I picked all the songs, like it pretty much is a collaboration between me and the choreographer, our team choreographer. But she's amazing because she was a professional dancer in the industry. She's still in the industry now to this day, but for like 12 plus years, she's amazing. So her perspective on things and how to make it really creative and like something different for the sport also really kind of elevated the routine. So it was a team effort for sure.
I don't know how familiar you are with like current girls in the NCAA, but there's a young woman out of Temple, Kristen Johnson or Kirsten Johnston. Pardon me if I mispronounced that. And
Mhm.
she's got a floor routine that actually reminded me a lot of yours. I mean,
Is it the
it's
Kendrick Lamar one?
exact. Yeah, it starts
I've
with
seen
not
it.
like she hits the
Yeah.
sneeze in it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, their team is awesome. And so I asked her the same thing, like, phenomenal dancer. And she also mentioned that she was able to collaborate with like the Temple dance team to make it. So
Yeah.
that's really
Oh,
cool to see like people working, across sports like that.
yes. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
She ate.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah,
Tell
she
her
actually
I said
competed at
that.
William and Mary. Yeah,
Oh, tell her I said so.
yeah, so we'll do.
Is there anyone dancing with a Drake song right now? That would be
Oh
so
my God. Like,
that would be
oh
the
my
most
gosh.
embarrassing thing if you were competing with a Drake song in this timeline we're living in, especially after the Super Bowl.
Bro, that'd be like, I don't even know.
That's
And
great.
and imagine like what was her name? Kirsten?
Yeah,
Kirsten, imagine Kirsten was there at the meet too. So you're already set up to lose.
it's
Like
it's raps. The first song
it's
she
bad.
plays is Not Like Us.
She ate. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
love that. I love to see that.
Yeah, that actually ties really well into my next question, which was going to be if you were to make another floor routine right now, what artists would
Oh,
you be looking at, or what kind of songs would be in the mix?
hard. What'd you say?
I said Drake, God's plan.
No, not Drake. Anybody but Drake. Oh my gosh, he's last. He's last on the list. Oh my goodness. That's such a hard question. I I feel like this is a little controversial as well, but I feel like Chris Brown also has a lot of hits and great music. And I really feel inspired by him as a performer and a dancer. Like he really brings his shows to life. So I would love to maybe try a Chris Brown floor routine.
Mm. Yeah, you definitely get reactions.
Yeah.
All right, so my last question for you, and this is just a fun one. All right, so women's gymnastics, if they were going to gain one event, but you got to take it from men's gymnastics, which event are you picking?
Oh, high bar.
High bar? Would you
Yeah.
rather trade it then? Would you rather trade it for uneven bars or just add it?
Oh, I think I might have to trade it for beam.
Beam. So you do high bar, you do uneven bars, then floor and
No,
vault.
you're right. No, I'm gonna trade it for uneven bars.
All
Because
right.
2 bars, no, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
They're like fun to play on, but every time I've tried to do anything substantial on women's bars, I become extremely aware of how close that second rail is.
Yeah, bro, it's a lot. Like hitting your feet is the worst pain like ever,
I
honestly,
think
because
I think if men had to do uneven bars, it would cause like the most deadly wipeouts. I mean, I watch women, and I'm surprised with some of the stuff you guys are pulling out, but I just think if the guys were trying the same skills they were doing on high bar on uneven bars,
it's bad.
It's wraps.
Yeah, it's not even set up right for that uneven bars. Like you're gonna land on that low bar.
It'd also be cool because then women's gymnasts could show us how to hit proper handstand angles on L grip turns, man.
Okay.
Like Gabby Douglas, like the
Yeah.
Chinese women's bars team, phenomenal. I swear they'll do like, like full turn to L, full turn from L back to L, both perfect handstands. Not something we're
Excellent.
super good at, so they
Yeah.
could teach us a thing or two.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, thank you though. That's all I had for you. Really appreciate your answers.
Of course.
so throwing it back to me over here for some fun questions. Nia, you also got to go to the Black Panther premiere. How was that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was iconic.
She just
It was
did the
amazing.
Wakanda. She just did the Wakanda salute.
Of course,
God,
forever.
you have to. Like, we did it. Yeah. That was so surreal, such a surreal moment. Obviously, it was such a huge movie and like pretty much kind of made history as well. So to be there and experience that in real time was like so crazy. The red carpet was pretty much like the set of the Black Panther movie. So they had the warriors like up on these things. It was just extravagant, bold, beautiful. And I was like, this feels like a fever dream, honestly. And it was an amazing movie. I laughed, I cried, the whole thing.
Yeah, would you and that movie is great, by the way. I really do love Wakanda Forever. It's so disappointing, obviously, what happened to
I
Chadwick
know.
Boseman.
I know.
Would you have wanted to go to the first one or the second? So you went to the second one, but if you could trade it in to go back in time and go to the first one, would you have gone to the first one or the second one?
I think I would have went to the first one.
That first one is still like holds up phenomenal. Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman, one of my favorite Marvel movies.
It just has so much sauce, the whole movie.
The whole thing, and it's still so relevant. Like the messaging, like everything in it is just real and like timeless, honestly. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, and everyone was like worried that the second one wasn't going to be good. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like and obviously they had to change it up after Bozeman passed away, but I was like, they are not going to undercook this movie. Like this is going to be one of their
Yeah,
strongest ones. And it was. People were
it
like,
was. It was.
I don't want female Black Panther. I was like, dude, give me
That's
Shuri
it.
all day.
Okay. Yes.
So, also with premieres, you happened to premiere for your first television episode recently on the whole reason you're going to the Harlem Globetrotters
Yes.
game today is that you were on an episode with them. Or what was the segment you were
But
on?
it's called Play It Forward.
Okay.
So basically, they're pretty much like going around trying different sports, trying different things, and basically giving back to the community and whatever element they're doing, whatever sport they're doing. So the Globetrotters and we went to a local gym out here in LA and we got to teach the young girls, the youth, some tricks. I mean, obviously they knew what they were doing, but it was cool to be able to give them some extra tips, some things that they don't always get to hear, and have like the Globetrotters come to their gym. Like that was so cool for them. And their energy was amazing because kids are so real. Like they are like they can kind of make or break a whole thing, I feel like. And they just brought the energy. They were amazing. They were uplifting, they were empowering, they were confident, they were not scared to fail. They just tried new things. And that was the most inspiring thing to me, just to see everybody just try and like didn't care what the outcome was going to be. I just want to try it because you did that. And that looks so cool. Like, okay, yes.
And that was your first time being on a television show, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. I knew I had that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, you've been popping off lately because you were also on an episode of Emma Chamberlain's podcast too.
Oh yeah, like girl Emma, she's awesome. Like she's so sweet. Like when I got there, she pretty much we started talking immediately. Like there was a point during the interview when I was like, "Did we start?" And she was like, "Yeah, girl, we've been rolling for like 30 minutes." I'm like, "Oh." Oh, like she's just such a, down to earth person. It's such a girl's girl. Like she just is really genuine and I love that. I really appreciate that.
That's crazy. Emma, I'm single and ready to mingle whenever you are.
Okay.
So, last question is, a while back you hit me up about wanting to do your own podcast. Is that still something you see yourself doing in the future? Is that still something that you want to do or maybe change up a little bit? Where do you land on that?
Yeah, it is something that I still want to do. I feel pulled in so many directions, which is like I'm trying to find the balance of it all, because I want to do so many different things, but I also feel like I need to focus in on a couple things and like become great at these couple things before I can keep expanding. But it is something that I want to do. I feel like I have a lot to talk about and a lot to share with the world. So everybody chat. Let me know if you think I should start a podcast right now.
Now, there are also rumors that you've said you might come back to gymnastics. Is that
Oh
true?
my God, who said that? Who said that?
I think it was you to me over a FaceTime call, but
Oh,
people talk. Is that still
I
something?
don't know. What did you say?
Is that still something you would consider? I mean, my opinion on adult gymnastics is as long as you're careful about it, go nuts, have a little fun. Would you want to come back just for fun, like just because you missed the sport, or is that something where you're like, shoot, maybe I'll compete again type deal?
Honestly, this last Olympics inspired me a lot. Like, kind of growing up, this last generation, well, during my time growing up, they conditioned us to thinking that our prime in gymnastics was 16 to 17. And so I tore my Achilles at 17 years old. So basically, I'm washed up now at 17 years old. I'm like, what the heck? I haven't even, done anything with myself, or I haven't, grown in any shape or form yet. Like, I feel like I haven't even peaked yet. And y'all are telling me I'm washed up. So this last Olympics with like the youngest person on the team being 16, which is like complete opposite of what the previous teams were, was really like showed me like, girl, you're in your prime now. Like now's your prime. Like you don't have to feel like you can't do this anymore, or you feel like you missed your window, feel like you missed the opportunity. because like Simone's still doing it, Suni's still doing it, Jordan's still doing it, you know, and they're old now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they're old. So I'm like, if they're old, I'm old and they can do it, I can do it, you know? So I was just feeling really inspired by that, like breaking out of the norm, the conditioned ways of thinking for us. So I really liked that and appreciated that. And I was like, dang, I don't know. It's in my backyard the next Olympics. So I might as well just like wake up one day, just go compete and then like leave. And then like go home, come back home.
I
So I don't know. I'm thinking about it, considering it, but it
I
is
hear.
something that I feel like is possible. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good. I want to point out to everyone listening that when Nia was saying old, she was doing quotation marks. I know you can't see that right now, but I just want to
Yeah,
reference that before the show ends, that she was doing like old quotation mark hand.
emphasis on that. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for me. Marsh, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, just that I'm a big fan of adult gymnastics. Of course, I am biased in that I still train, but I think it's important for people to remain in the sport in one way or the other. It's
Yeah,
not very common that, someone retires from swimming and they never get in the pool again, or, they
right.
never pick up a basketball again. And
Yeah.
obviously, there are different limitations with what your body can physically handle in our sport, but it's not like there aren't ways where you can, one, scale down and two, do it safely. So even if you are coming back just to have fun, I think this Olympics or die mentality has not been good for the sport. I think it's actually counterproductive to keeping that engagement in gymnastics. And
Mhm.
so, if you were to do so, I just know I would be fully encouraging you,
Thank
and
you.
living by that example. So,
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, both of you.
I know Marsh looks up to me because I still pull off my cause full every summer, and
I
I will.
actually do.
I want to say that while I support adult gymnastics, I won't be making a comeback anytime soon. Yeah, but my days of cause fulls are behind me until I
Yeah.
until I pull one out this summer. All right, well, that's our show today. Time's up. With that, thanks for listening to another episode of Podnastics. My name is Jacob Daniel,
I'm Christian Marsh.
And I'm Nia Dennis.
and this has been Podnastics. Good night, New York.
Good night, New York. That's cute.